Welcome to the Sales Influence Podcast, where we talk about finding the why in how people buy. I'm your host, Victor Antonio, and today we're going to talk about decision-making and the mindset. I want to talk about decisions and how we make decisions. And let me kind of frame this in a context that I know you'll understand. Do you ever get up and just have one of those days where you're in a funk? Do you know what I mean by a funk? It's a blue mood. You're just not feeling good mentally. Nothing wrong with you physically. You're just your headspace, your mind is just not there. And then you try to search for why. Like, why am I feeling this way? Why am I in a negative mood? What's going on? And it's funny because I've had those many times, and I've learned to stop, kind of be very aware of where I'm at, and I ask myself, why am I feeling like this? What happened that put me in this negative space? Now, the interesting thing about being in that space, one, it's hard to get out of it unless you force your way out of it by taking action and doing something, which is what we're going to talk about. But the other thing is, you have to almost play like a detective. You got to be like Sherlock Holmes. You got to figure out, why am I in such a bad mood? Because sometimes you don't even know. And what happens is that there are a lot of little things that happen, let's say, during the day that put you in that mood. Because even at an unconscious level, you're receiving information and it's putting you in a bad mood. And maybe you're not even aware of it. And so I just want to share this with you because I have those moments where I'm in that funk, that blue mood, that like, why am I kind of like pessimistic? And I go, why am I feeling like this? And then I stop, be very mindful of where I'm at. And I ask myself, what happened? What did I see? What did I hear? What put me in this negative headspace? And the reason I want to talk to you about this because when you're in that headspace, it really impacts how you make a decision, and the decisions you make obviously impact your future. Let me back up. So let's go through a typical scenario, and then I want to jump into what psychologists call prevention versus promotion focus. That's really the topic today on how that taints our decision-making process. Now, let's just kind of play this scenario out. Let's say that you wake up and you're 10 minutes late, right? You woke up late, something, I don't know, the alarm didn't go off, whatever it may be. You're a little late. And now you're rushing around the house. You're trying to get ready. You can't spend enough time with the kids because you got to run out the door. And sure enough, you run out the door, grab your stuff, run out the door. And then what happens? You get into traffic. And all of a sudden, there's unexpected traffic. More traffic than you typically expect, right? You're like, this is not going good either. So you arrive to work literally only 10 minutes late. But still, your mindset is now, you woke up late, you didn't say goodbye to the kids, you didn't spend enough time just relaxing at home with a cup of coffee, whatever it may be. Now you're at work, you're arriving late, you're trying to catch up, and then all of a sudden somebody peeks their head, just walks into your office rather, and tells you, hey, by the way, let's say you're a sales manager, that your sales projections are 5% lower than expected. That's the first news that you get as soon as you walk through the door. And then you're informed, you open up your email and you see that you missed your sales target by 10%. Now, all this is going on. And then let's say that somebody walks into your office and says, hey, Victor Antonio is having a sales mastery intensive workshop next week and it's $1,500. Do you want to go? Are you interested? What do you think that person is going to say? No, they're going to say, no, I don't need to be bothered by that. Just leave me alone. Now, that's what happens when you're in that state. When you're in that state where everything's going wrong, you just want to shut down. Now, psychologists call this the prevention-focused mindset. It orients us towards avoiding negative outcomes. Let me say that again. Prevention-focused mindset. When we're oriented to avoid negative outcomes. In other words, when things are going bad, the last thing we want to do is try something else because things are already going bad. And so we say no to things because that's our mindset. We're in that mode where everything's going wrong, everything's not right. Screw this, I'm not doing anything, shut it all down, right? Now, if you're a small business owner and you're thinking and listening to this should ring a bell with you because sometimes as business owners, our sales aren't up, they're down this month. And the immediate reaction is to hunker down, stop promoting ourselves, let's cut costs here, let's fire a few people, and we go into this prevention mode. And again, all because we got some negative information, we're in this negative mindset, and it really impacts how we make decisions going forward. Now, let's take another reality. Okay, let's flip the reality now. This time, you get up early. You get up early, and guess what? You have a few extra moments to enjoy that cup of coffee. Maybe read the newspaper or whatever you read, and spend some time with the kids and actually have breakfast with them. Then you shoot out the door, and then you get into traffic. Now, the traffic is lighter than usual, and you're like, wow, this is pretty good. There's not a lot of traffic. And you arrive, let's say, 15 minutes early. Now you have time to go get another cup of coffee and just kind of relax, kick back in your chair in your office, and just kind of start looking through your emails. You open up your email, and you see that you actually hit your sales number. Boom, right on the button. And then you also realize, unfortunately, that you missed the target by only 1%. But in your brain, you said, you know what, that's not bad because it was a high number anyway. If we missed it by 1%, we can make it up next month. And then at that very moment that you're reading your email, some guy pops his head into his office and says, hey, Victor Antonio is having a sales mastery intensive workshop for only $1,500. Do you want to go? And I'm telling you right now, the answer is going to be more likely yes than no. Why? It's the mindset. It's the mindset. The fact is that now that you're in a positive mindset, you're trying to do more to create more positivity. Let me say this again. This is important. Because you're in a positive mindset, you want to do more to create more positive outcomes. Now, psychologists call this promotion focus as opposed to prevention focus. Let me repeat them both again. Prevention focus is when we're oriented towards avoiding negative outcomes. In other words, we're like shutting down, let's cut costs, let's fire people, let's not do anything risky. Promotion focus means that you're oriented towards pursuing positive outcomes. In this case, you're oriented towards pursuing more positive outcomes. In other words, your sales are up, things are looking good, you're only 1% off. Your mindset is like, yes, we can grow this more, we can do better. Yeah, let's send somebody to the workshop. And I want to highlight this for you because sometimes when we walk in this mode, we're in this mode at work, whether it's in our own business, whatever it may be, it really taints how we make a decision. And too often when we're in the prevention-focused mindset, where we're trying to avoid negative outcomes because of certain things that have happened already, we invest less, we do less, we hold back more. And that just creates that vicious cycle of more negative outcomes. Because if you're not promoting yourself because you're saying it's never going to work, you're in the prevention mode, then guess what happens? Because you're not promoting as much, you're not going to get as much success. You're not going to generate as many leads. Because you cut down on your workforce, cut down on people, downsized, you don't have as many feet on the streets to get more business. Because you're holding back on resources, you're not getting more. So the question is, how do we do this? Because if you go too hard on the other side, the promotion focus, where you're always investing in things, you may overspend. Maybe the answer lies somewhere in the middle. That we want to be in a prevention-focused mode, where we're trying to protect ourselves from negative outcomes, but at the same time, we know we have to do something positive to move the ball forward. The next time you find yourself saying, should I or should I not do it? Ask yourself, literally just stop and ask yourself, which mode am I in right now? Am I in the prevention focus mode where I'm just trying to avoid negative outcomes? Or am I in the positive mode, the promotion focus, where I'm seeking positive outcomes? Because when we're in the negative outcome mode, when we're just trying to prevent ourselves from getting in deeper debt or deeper trouble, we don't do anything. But we all know that we have to do certain things in order for something to happen. So the first thing I want you to think about as you're listening to this podcast is ask yourself, if you're in a bad mood, and you know that you need to do something to make sales happen, you need to take action, ask yourself, how do you break out of that mindset? How do you begin to do something, force yourself to do something, even when your mind says, I don't want to do it, even when you're afraid to take a chance? Let's say you want to, generate new leads, but you're thinking about Facebook ads, right? And like, should I do it? Should I not do it? Ask yourself, what mode are you in? If you're in the prevention focus mode, you're not going to want to do it. If you're in the promotion focus mode, you're going to want to do it. So let's go back to the don't want to do it, the prevention focus mode. Ask yourself this question. If I don't do anything, what's the outcome? If I don't do anything, what's the outcome? Well, the outcome's obvious. You're not going to move forward. You're not going to know. See, sometimes it's better to try something and fail at it. At least you know you tried it, it didn't work, maybe make some adjustments, and it still didn't work. Well, now you know that strategy, let's say again the Facebook ads, isn't for you. You're not doing it right. So you have several options. You can either give up on it or find somebody to help coach you through this so you can become better at it. My point is, Get yourself out of the prevention-focused mindset. Little things are happening throughout the day that are putting you in that mode. And because you're in that mode, you don't want to take action. You don't want to do anything. I want you to ask yourself, if I'm not taking actions, if I'm being negative, how do I break out of it? Because I need to be in the promotion-focused mindset where I'm pushing forward, trying new things, trying to move the business forward. That's where you want to be when you want to be successful in the sales. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I know it's a lot of information within 10 minutes, but think about it. If your mind's not right, your money won't be right. If your money ain't right, your sales won't be right. So again, get your head right because it puts you in that mode where you want to promote, you want to do better. So that's it for this Sales Influence podcast. Again, don't forget to leave me some feedback on iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube. Let me know what you think. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, check out my sales training website, seminarsonselling.com. And yes, please do check out my salesmasteryintensive.com workshop. $1,500, 12 hours, 12 people, 12 sales modules. It's a good one. Lastly, I want to thank you for listening. This is Victor Antonio, always reminding you, selling ain't hard when you know how. Take care.
Every manager can feel it. The difference between a motivated, value-driven sales team and one that's stuck in a rut. CEOs know the difference too. They can see it clearly in the profit and loss columns. The question is, how do you get your team to this elite level? Is there something extra you can do to break through the remaining resistance and equip them with the right mindset to grow your business? Yes, there is. But you're not going to do it with one of those cheesy inspirational speakers or some self-proclaimed guru. What you need is someone with a real business track record to deliver key insights in a captivating way, to give your team the right tools for selling in today's tough marketplace. Enter Victor Antonio, experienced executive, innovative thinker, compelling speaker. He's ready to deliver the message you need your people to hear, not with a canned speech, but a customized, dynamic keynote designed to deliver results. Bring Victor Antonio to your next event before the competition does.